there, welcome back. It's Cork Stats, powered by the Mayo Media Network here on YouTube, presented by Jock MKT, the daily sports app where we make money. Holy cow, Hachi, Machi, Liberace. How about that? We were up in the Jock market yesterday, lumping them up, doing exactly what we do. It was so nice. We did it twice. We hit them in the AM, we hit them in the PM. I mean, we're just doing the things we do. Me, you, and the Cork Stats crew. Everybody download that app. It's free. They're going to match the first $100 for free. And if it's free, it's for me. But the point is really more than rhyming and looking pretty cool right now with the green screens is look at the pricing and the fact that the $100 is more than enough to do damage. We're not just throwing names at you. You're getting prices, applications, and even what I like to think of as kind of like a stop loss, like a place where we say we're off of these players. Now, in the early slate, we don't usually cover it on the show, but I did have followers reach out, and I will run my stack tool. We had Pirates lefties, ding, 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 and then later on, which we did cover on the show, we had Joey Votto and Austin Riley. They both went ramalama ding dong, and you know, that's just what we do. And look, every single one of those guys at the 550 mark or below, it's a limit order, so you get all your money back. All right, enough of the green screens there, but you know, that's just what it is. I'm myself back up to that personal high again. Right now, it was on like a 2-week slide, but because Jock Market is not an all or none game, you can play around even. And listen, standard DraftKings, FanDuel type DFS play, though I do believe there's a spot in a portfolio for it, it's a different type of game, right? And I think we could separate those. And I'm playing DFS, but in winner-take-all formats, and where I'm trying to make money and grind and really put the tools and our skills to use is in the Jock market, because that's where it pays off, right? Identifying cheap players that are inherently undervalued. Because in DraftKings, the prices don't move, so everyone can be on the free square, which is no longer free. In Jock market, if a player is cheap, it means the ownership is low by definition. So any production is a huge hit. And I mean, I think really at the essence of it, that's the key. People are starting to see it. And if you can't play Jock market, I cracked a huge total base parlay yesterday. I'm trying to play around with different sites that allow you to parlay these things. I don't love the juice, but some of the guys I mentioned, like I was looking at Sawinski, he had a half base total base prop. So you can't do that. Some other books you can. I like to look, and I was able to pair like all the Pirates, Brian Reynolds, and I hit all those things, and I had a really nice hit yesterday. So let's dive up into it. There's one early game at Cincinnati and Chicago, standalone, so we're not really worrying about that. Get me on Twitter if you're looking for a bet or two, maybe. But we got a main slate. It's 10 games. Starts at 6:40, and that's when the IPO is, which I really like. One last quick note. We're going to be doing the old-fashioned Cork Stats show, game-by-game breakdown this Friday, which today is Thursdays. Tomorrow, I'm going to start promoting with fervor today. But if you want a little giddy-up, I already had an idea. I had it yesterday. We're going to do a total run contest. So it just for the main slate tomorrow, whoever is closest to the total runs main slate, you're going to have to jump on the YouTube channel, be subscribed, of course, and leave it in the comments, your guess, and whoever's close, I'm going to buy you a MLB hat of your choice, right? For any kind of standard MLB team hat, new era, size and whatever, and I'm going to have it shipped to you, and that'll be what we do. Hopefully we get some new eyes just in the sewing seat we're doing. It's really a lot of fun by, kind of really how I made my bones in this, my bread and butter, doing these advanced, really fast, lightning quick, deep dive analyses into individual games, and then with a bet, and then I'm going to walk you through how to get into Jock Market and play. So I know there's Jock Market players out there, so make sure you have the app downloaded by tomorrow night, a perfect time to use that money. I'm going to show you exactly how in real time, screen sharing, and show you how I play with a couple of other little advanced kind of tips I've come up with. So it's going to be really good. Let's dive up into today's stack report. Remember, it's not just Jock Market. These are DraftKings stacks. I run implied team totals. Hat tip, as always, to Patty Mayo for giving me the opportunity to reach all of you and kind of bring you all these free tools. I think they should be free. I'm working my butt off to do it. You might as well use them. Even if you're disagreeing with me, I think you should probably I have a reason why, because I'm kind of showing you behind the scenes, right? You're seeing all the work and everything like that. Starting pitcher matrix goes up every single day, followed on Twitter, MLB moving averages at MLB moving AVG. First up, we're looking for, oh man, I love any time a pitcher against the Nats struggles with lefties, the alarm starts to blare, because that's Soto, that's Bell, and German Marquez has done just that. It's been a rough go this year in general. 6.14 ERA, 1.6 WHIP. I know there is Coors involved, but he has a 6 ERA on the road as well. It's been a really rough go for Marquez so far. 92% in-zone contact rate combined with a 47% hard hit rate via StatCast. It's 95 miles an hour. So every time the ball's in the zone, like every time he puts it in the zone, half the time it's going out at 95 miles an hour or better. That's led to the 900 OPS on the year to lefties. It's the sinker and the change. Both have plus 600 X slugs against. So we're looking at Soto. We're looking at Bell. And again, we got to be careful with pricing in Jock Market. This is where sometimes I think probably studs are easier to play in DraftKings because the price doesn't go up. But if Soto doesn't crack that $7 mark, you're going to see my name all over him in the leaderboard and in that kind of open, right? If you're not aware, Jock Market has like open source trading. You see like MLB moving averages bid, and you could see that and follow what people are doing, and you could see what the market is. It would be equating to reading the tape in Wall Street, seeing the actual movement go. I was a derivatives trader for a while, and that's part of it. Watching the action move kind of helping to validate your understanding, especially right at the bell. So that'll be one of the things we cover again on Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun, not just the show. We're going to do DraftKings and DFS and all that stuff, of course. Bets, prop betting. I'm going to just bring the house. All right, let's get back up into it. It's the Rockies, so that's the same game. So what does that mean? If we're getting 2 stack reports in the same game, we're going over against Patrick Corbin. This year, 6.6 ERA, 1.7 WHIP. Hey, Marquez was pretty bad. He said, hold my beer. 10% barrel, a 4.70 expected WOBA on contact year to date, which is gross. But the power has been centered to righties. All 6 home runs this year have been hit by right-handers. So we're going to be looking at C.J. Cron, Brandon Rogers, and Jonathan Daza. In particular, I know the Rockies do kind of stink away from home, but a lot of times it's like the traveling and stuff, they do score. Like it does happen. The offense is not terrible. I think they really need Bryant. He's one of those guys, like a linchpin. But I think they will get to him. I do think we get the over. I do think this is a good place to kind of backfill today. But me in particular, I'll be in the back of those lineups. So I guess the game will be popular, but I'll be towards the, I guess I'll be chalky Washington and deep Rockies, and then we'll see where the Jock Market slate takes us. Right, next up, it's the Halos against the Blue Jays. They've got Hyunjin Ryu really, really struggling this year against righties. It's been really bad. 950 OPS on the year to righties and 3 home runs. The problem is really centered around the fastball. It's coming in really right around 90, and again, I don't want to be like a velocity whore, but there really is, that's really the benchmark, right? Where these are professional hitters, and there is a point where you're just not going to be able to fool them, especially more than once, right? So that's the whole idea where even if 90 is going to get him through the order once, I don't think it's going to get him through the order twice. He's, man, when you're up against really tough righties, you don't want to be facing the Angels. We're looking at Trout. We're looking at Rendon. But I think we might be looking at the back end also. Guys like Velasquez, who I recommended for fantasy, maybe even like a Luis Rengifo, right? So I'm probably going to be looking at the wheel, let's call it, right? We're looking at the turn for the Angels, backfilling into the cheap guys there. So Washington lefties, Colorado righties, and Angel righties as well. That's our stack report. And again, I'm going to have the total team stacks for backfills. Just follow me on Twitter. Again, people tag me every day and I'll put it right up. Like, I don't ignore it. There are like 5 million things I'm doing every single day. I'll be on the Athletic podcast today. If you're interested with Mike Beller, I'll be on VSiN later on today with Gil. And then I'll be on the Draft Champions pod on the circus over there with those boys, kind of having some fun. So you get to see the other side of it over there, man. I'm telling you, I just love it. Baseball season, it's what it's all about. 115 off the crack of bat. We never stop, and we ain't about to do that now. So let's dive into our ads. If you're unfamiliar with the fantasy show, I really think the fantasy show matters. Please, please, please. If you're just a fantasy player and you're kind of fast-forwarding through the rest, I think there's something there for you. But at the very least, I think in these 5 to 7 minutes every day just for fantasy baseball, we're really doing it. Listen, I play high stakes 12-team head-to-head points. I also play high-stakes 15-team NFBC Roto League. So I'm really trying to be all over the place. I don't play 10, but I'm trying to do that. So if you notice, there's 3 players at every position in the infield. I'm thinking of that as an add in 10, 12, and 15-team leagues. I know we have audio-only listeners, so please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. And you can check this out on the go if you can't sit down in front of the video. Although I would suggest, because I am bringing the graphics, that if you are in a rush, it may be almost worth it to go over to YouTube to swipe real quick and grab a screenshot if you're doing your work, right? You might be on a computer screen and have this up on the phone, and it'll help you get through it. You say, oh, who is he talking about? Because I know that we do it fast, but that's what the graphic is for. You can just kind of freeze it, what I'm doing, and if you want the details, run it back. All right, let's get behind the plate. I think in 10-team leagues, Adley Rutschman needs to be rostered everywhere. He's playing every day. He's hitting in the middle of the lineup, and he doesn't look overwhelmed. That's generally the first thing I'm looking for with rookies. Like Alec Thomas hit right away, didn't look overwhelmed. Like I'm okay running it out. If they look overwhelmed at all, I'm immediately put them on the bench. There's just a little bit of process there for you. Again, it's weird. Trading, I guess we'd say it's like trying to catch the falling knife. People get so married to these prospects that they eat 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 bad weeks. At what point for what? To get one good week? Just wait for the one good week. You avoided all the bad, and then you could get on the top end of the sine wave again, things that we talk about on the show. So 10-team leagues, make sure you have Rutschman added. In 12-team leagues, or maybe even 10, every league, is William Contreras. I botched that one yesterday. What a rake step for me. I was so excited because I thought it was this Contreras that made it on the statistical mining last 30 leaderboard, which we do every week on Tuesday and Wednesday, hitters and starting pitchers, depending on when I get my updates. But he is awesome anyway. He's lighting up all the boards, and he's excellent behind the plate as far as hitting goes, and also starting in the outfield and DHing. So definitely get with William Contreras. This is the Braves catcher. Brother, they're both really, really awesome. And then last up, again, I'm going to make sure that I'm giving guys that are not available over with. I am dead on determined to make this show handy. 15-team leagues, man, for adding catchers. It's really tough this week. I have Cal Raleigh circled for the Mariners, although with Christian Bethancourt, who I had recommended earlier, now he's been added in a lot of places. If he's not, it's Cal Raleigh time, I think. I don't know. He's behind Murphy. He stinks. Raleigh's starting to hit, and he does have a track record of hitting. So again, if he's on, where he's seeing the ball better and just getting a better understanding of how pitchers will be attacking him, possibly having made that first adjustment, look for Cal Raleigh. He could play every day on the Mariners. They're looking to make improvements because they're not winning games. All right, first base, let's go. It's Frank Schwindel. He's on a tear. I recommended him at The Athletic more than 2 weeks ago. He's moving up the list, right, where he was a 15-team ad, was a 12-team ad. Now he's going to be added everywhere, playing Schwindel. Next up, Hunter Dozier again. He's really moved from being a 15 to a 12. I wouldn't add him in 10 yet. And then Garrett Cooper adding at first base is a little difficult right now, but Cooper has been available in a few of the 15-team leagues I'm in, so I'm adding him. If not, it's probably Pavin Smith, who has flew on the radar. I've played him in a couple spots, depending on matchups. Next up, second base, Nolan Gorman on the Cardinals, of course, must be added everywhere. Then Brendan Rodgers, who I mentioned in Colorado, is now 12-team viable. Add him. He's good. If he starts getting going and half his game's in cores, you don't want to wait to have to pay or use a top priority to him. Rodgers is good, flying under the radar. And last up, Nico Horner is back for the Cubs. I know a lot of times it's very difficult to roster injured players at second base. If he's not available, second base is really, really tough. Man, I forget who's out there. Rojas is not going to be out there anymore. Get at me. I'll check it out. I'll look out. Maybe I'll post something for middle infield. Shortstop, 10-team leagues. I believe Josh Rojas is now viable if he's going to play every day. We've seen some pop. We know what he could do. If not, maybe I should have flip-flopped this actually for Brandon Donovan on the Cardinals. They are just pushing all the youth forward. They really do the right thing with the youth, and you can tell there's something going on. Forget the devil magic, something in the water jokes. They're very good at development. They also surround young players with very smart and professorial and not only intelligent but engaging and high IQ veterans like Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. So if you want, Gorman to learn from somebody, Donovan to learn from somebody, even Edman to learn from somebody, be those guys. And again, I think the rising tide rises all ships. The Cardinals are so good. I do not like the Cardinals whatsoever. They're very, very, very good, and a good spot to park some future money if you kind of believe in that stuff. So it's Rojas and Donovan at shortstop, and then last up it's Andrew Velasquez. I recommended him at The Athletic. We didn't get the boost that we wanted, but he's not been terrible. So I think we've had like a 280 average the last week, and he even hit a home run. So hopefully the boon is coming. So Velasquez is starting every single day for the Angels. It's a very good offense, so you're getting the plate appearances. The lineup spot's not great, but it's tough to find at bats in NFBC. Andrew Velasquez on the Angels. Third base, Patrick Wisdom now has to be added in all leagues at third base. Next up, Brandon Donovan. Hearing that name over and over again, look at the multiple position eligibility. I would add him pretty much everywhere, just in case, and especially if you have daily moves or bi-weekly moves, let's say. Donovan is an ace. Last up, third base, Evan Longoria. Wherever he wasn't scooped up, you got to get him. He hit like 2 bombs yesterday, so the secret is out. Let's get up into the outfield. This one could be a little bit tougher. I mean, I don't really know what waiver wire is going to look like. So, like, a guy like Ian Happ ended up not being owned everywhere. Jock Peterson not being owned everywhere. Jorge Soler not being owned everywhere. Make sure those players are owned everywhere. The next up player, I'm wearing the 2 gold stars on my big fat nose right now, and that's King Cole Calhoun. Texas Rangers, I mentioned it like 2 or 3 weeks ago because he popped on the stat leaderboard. Again, it's weird. Like, I don't make this stuff up, and I always find it funny when people's retort to my argument is like, and they could just make fart noises instead of like answering what I'm saying. These things are on the leaderboard. I investigate. Sometimes we identify skill changes. A lot of times it comes with plate appearances, right? That's generally the thing that are a constant for me is opportunity, and then I'm looking for spikes. Cole Calhoun has been awesome. We know he has big boy power in the mush ball environment. He looks incredible, and if this guy made like a change, he's awesome. People see the swing and miss stuff. We want him to be aggressive. He's not going to help us in fantasy if he starts walking. We want him to swing. We want him to swing. Even you eat the K's if he's going to hit the power bat like this. So I'm adding Cole Calhoun. He's 12 team, relevant for me. Tyrone Taylor is starting to get tons of at-bats in Milwaukee. I like him in drafted holds. I believe we're starting to see that, cream kind of rise to the top. Keep your eye on Taylor if you have a bench spot. He's a guy who, if he plays his way into every day, it's going to be too late. So I think we want to add Taylor now. He's like bench. Yeah, I think he's a bench bat in 12 teams, but I think he must be owned, right? So he's on that, like, just be on the watch list, right? On the watch list. And Darren Ruff, San Francisco has had some injuries. He's terrible in the outfield, but with the DH, this game was made for him with the opportunities and the power bat. He's got to get some ops, but he gets platooned. I'm just not crazy about the Giants. I like to be very upfront about Giants players. I really don't roster them at all. Longoria might be a difference in the defense at third. Then Luis Barrera, outfielder for Oakland, and you're like, who? And I'm like, see, so I'm trying to bring you people that are playing every day. He's produced. He even stole a couple of bags. People are definitely not interested in Oakland. The reason I am is because opportunities, and there's a chance to play up into the lineup. There's just nobody holding anybody back. I would guess maybe Sean Murphy is locked into the top 5. I don't even know. It's so bad. Like, it really is so bad. Also, keep your eye on shortstop. Elvis Andrews comes to mind. He's hit a couple home runs this week. I know he hit another one yesterday. I bet on Paulie Blackburn. Again, people sucking their teeth. He's terrible. He gets swing and misses. If you're into this stuff, we've had Blackburn for weeks. We're starting him. We're betting on him. He's still an underdog, and nobody wants him. And it's like, whatever. That's what kind of separates us from it, is our ability to kind of ignore the scoffs, right? So as people are scoffing, we're making moves and profiting. And then as they're like finally get on board, a lot of times we're like heading for the exit. And then you kind of see how the cycle plays out. So let's dive up onto the bump. Nick Pivetta on the top, Martin Perez. We know it, believe it or not, you got to get while the getting is good. I believe they both really benefited from the ball. They both had plus command the past 6 or 8 starts, some plus pitching mix changes. Don't be afraid to get with those guys. Pivetta, I'm a bit more scared with the matchups, but he's been excellent. Don't scoff. He is good right now. Then we have a couple of guys more on the peripheral that I think need to be added. Brady Singer on the Royals, Roansy Contreras on the Pirates, and Aaron Ashby on Milwaukee. Freddie Peralta is down. Ashby's going to get a look. If he hasn't been added, drop the phone and add him now. Contreras also looked really good. I don't know how to manage him, but the strikeouts should be there, and he already showed that. So strikeouts plus opportunities. I know the Pirates are bad, but they're just not as bad as people want them to be, I think. Right? People want them to lose every day, and they're just not going to, because they're going to play the Cubs, they're going to play the Reds, and they're going to play some other National League teams that they're going to compete with at the very least. So I think Contreras is viable. Brady Singer and the Royals have been terrible. Singer has been the lone bright spot. Remember, he's a top prospect. I drafted him everywhere, and it was such a disappointment. So we may be seeing him kind of come to form right now. Make sure Singer's owned in your league. Same might be said for Daniel Lynch, high-end prospect. He's shown us a bit more now, so you want to get with him. The deeper names for 15 leagues, it's Alex Fado on the Tigers. I dumped into him. If you want, you can check my Patreon sheet from the page from the day that he pitches. Again, even if you're not betting, I leave some really gold nuggets in there. I hand write up everybody. So he had some stuff that I liked. Also, JT Brubaker popped not only on the swing and miss leaderboard the other day, but the contact leaderboard. So he come up on both. He's looking really good. We've seen a pitch mix change as well. Get with Brubaker and the Pirates. Again, look for opportunities on bad teams. Spencer Strider on the Braves getting looks out of the bullpen. Same for Juan Duran, has a couple more saves for the Twins, though it's pretty muddy there right now. The save and landscape for relievers is just gross. Let's get up into the betting board, which has been really brutal to us, but I guess it depends how you've been attacking it. Yesterday was another 2 of 3. So if you're betting these things individually, you're pretty much making money every single day, and you see how we do it. I'm not at the point where I'm just not putting full units. I don't generally bet a tenth of a unit straight, right? That's a little, even I have my limits where there's too conservative, and I generally don't bet by full units forward until the end of the day when I've seen the entire landscape and lineups are out, so I can divvy up my risk. And I really try to be very professional about this because I do this at a high, I do this at a high level, and I want to show you that that's kind of how we do it. I don't recommend anything that I don't play on my own, but I do want to show you that parlays are really not the best way to do it. This is a part of mine, and again, we've just been bounces away from this being wildly profitable. So I understand there are people that are, dropping $2, $5, $10 in this every day. I'm fully down with that. I think it's a great way to get some action. We got the Yankees first 5 money line. Nasty Nestor is on the bump, and we're just a slight favorite. Anytime you give me that against your bro, he's been very bad for the Rays. 1.7 whip on the year. Sierra up near 5, xFIP over 5, and a quarter, 28% line drive. He's getting crushed by lefties. Give me the Yankees today through the first 5. And then we have a couple of overs. We covered the Rockies and the Nats, Marquez and Patrick Corbin. Give me over 4.5. I think either one of those teams could hang a 5 alone. And then KC, Minnesota. And we missed that over yesterday, which was kind of a kick in the tail because I know somebody tweeted at me, LOL, like, oh my God, I missed it over. You got to understand that's why they're at 110. But we had the base runners, and Byron Buxton was at the dish with the bases loaded, 2 runs short of our over. We were right there. Everybody was right there. We were a single away from covering, and then I could have ran from there. So, whatever. It's Daniel Lynch and Devin Smeltzer. They've both really struggled. And look, see the high Sierras. Lynch has a double-digit walk rate. We've mentioned he's been good, but he has gotten beaten up by righties. The Twins are a very good right-handed hitting team against lefties. So I think this matchup in particular is really tough for Lynch. And Smeltzer, I don't think is very good. The xFIP up at 5.25. The Sierra up at 5 3/4. He has more walks than strikeouts and a 16% whiff rate. Yikes, not going to do it. And lefties busting out with a plus 900 OPS against him. Give me the 0-4. They keep dropping these totals on the Royals games. So we're packing Yankees F5, Colorado, Washington over 4.5, and the Royals with cheese against the Twinkies 0-4. All these are F5, though I think these are all viable for full 9 innings as well. I think the Yankees win. I think Colorado and the KC game both go over. Pack them together for plus 550. Get us back over the hurdle, over the hump. Let's get this week profitable and get back on track. But don't forget, this is just a single pillar of profit. Follow us up where we're making money at Jock Market. We're making money in fantasy, and eventually we're going to start making money betting. Though again, it is funny because I see people go, oh, why don't you just bet singles? So that's why I kind of walked you through explaining why. Because if you are betting singles, you're getting paid every day. We hit the majority. Whatever. I don't try to get tied to the outcomes. Yes, I'm very good at this. We are all very good at this. I hope we work very hard at this, and because we work so hard, it feels less like luck. So download the Jock Market app. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Use the promo code MMN at Jock Market. Keep an eye out tomorrow night, 6 p.m., the YouTube channel, everything on Twitter. Just every way that you follow us, you won't be able to miss it. I'll be retweeting it. We'll get Patty to retweet it. We'll have the show handle retweet it. It's going to be live streaming. It's going to be awesome. And remember, drop your total run pick in the comment section. You have to be subscribed, and that winner will get an MLB brand new era hat on. The big dude with a big mouth from the Big Apple. Man, I absolutely love this, and I hope that you do too. I mean, we're really doing some unique stuff here, not only covering the gamut of all the different types of formats, but really some advanced, individual pitch stuff, plus some theory and betting theory, working theories, and risk management stuff, and hopefully it's all that and the bag of chips. So that will do it. Keep an eye out for me. Athletic Pod, Draft Champions, Athletic. Yesterday I just did a mailbag, but more importantly, it turned into a comprehensive deep dive on Marcus Semien. I cannot spoil it because you got to give them that $1 a month or whatever. Really awesome stuff to get the Athletic right there. Pretty good deal. So, all right, man. Follow us up on Twitter, MMN, Mayo Media Net 2022. Loving you all. We'll check us in the AM. We'll see you in the jock market tonight. Hit me up on Twitter, and I'll catch us on the flip side. Peace.